Section 8. The Queen of the Walled Village. One day has passed.
Ah!
The damn sacred beasts! Of all the luck, running into a huge pack of them like this.
It seems luck was not on our side today. I was hoping we could pass them by without incident, but oh well.
Redacted!
I'm so sorry. I was so close to them that I ended up drawing my bow in fear.
Don't worry about it. The blame is partly mine for forgetting how it feels to hold a weapon for the first time. I'll need to reevaluate both the technical and mental aspects of our training program. At any rate, the rest of you hurry back to the village. I'll hold them off here. But... No buts. We can't risk leading them toward the village. Besides, the more commotion we make, the more likely we are to be captured by the local Pala we've been hearing rumors about. The local Pala are said to serve God directly and have incredible power in their own right. The moment they find us, it's over. We can't let that happen. I could manage on my own if it came to that, but if you or the village caught their eye, it would be disastrous. So I want you all to head back to Duvall ahead of me. And don't forget the supplies we collected.
But you can't possibly handle them all on your own.
Don't worry. My plan isn't to defeat them all. It's just to be buying us time. And I'm well accustomed to trials of endurance. Besides, I already told you. I'm not human. I'm something else. Something with the power of 1,000 ordinary people. A shadow of humanity who manifests in this land by the grace of the rightful gods! I know this isn't the first time we've had to stay behind, but man, it sucks not being able to actually drive around in our vehicle. What's the point of even having it then?
Don't be ridiculous. If the enemy were to find and destroy the border, the jig would be well and truly up. Camouflage, function or not, we still need to make sure we stay out of sight at all times. That mad dash we made to pick up the field team during the Kali Yuga was under the most extenuating of circumstances. There will be no repeat performance.
Yeah, I was just grumbling. I know you're right on this one, Gordy.
Oh? Just a moment. Do you think you can stop and hide in that tall grass over there?
Yes, I'll set the Orthodox to silent mode. Please be as quiet as you can, everyone.
Whoa. That's a lot of sacred beasts.
Luckily, they don't seem to have noticed us. Let's stay here and wait for them to pass.
They're certainly very pretty to look at. No wonder the people here call them agents of God.
They really are just like any other animal without any Kali around, huh? I wonder what they eat. Maybe we could use food to tame them.
They're gone.
Good. Then let's keep going. It shouldn't be much further until our destination village.
Fo!
I see something. That must be it over there. Thank goodness we didn't run into any trouble on the way. I like the wall they've put up here. Gives the place a real freedom fighter vibe. The mayor of Bichu did say they go around fighting Kali here. If anything, I would be surprised if their village wasn't fortified like this.
Come on, hurry!
It's us! Open the gate, quick! Those people seem to be in an awfully big hurry to get inside. I wonder what that was all about. Looks like we were far enough away from them that they didn't notice us. But did you see? They may have only been modified farm implements, but they were still carrying weapons. They really do seem to be different from the people of Bichu. We may well be able to learn something new here.
I think you're right. Let's go see.
They're not opening the gate for us.
And they're not answering when we knock either. Hey! Open the gate for us! I'll have you know most nations would be thrilled to have me pay them a visit.
Let me see if I can hear anything from inside. Who was that? Is someone there?
Oh no. This is it. They found us. We're done for.
What do we do? What are we gonna do?
How should I know? There's no way we can fight them off on our own. We'll just have to keep the gate closed until she gets back.
I'm not sure why, but they sound very agitated.
Oh, I've got a bad feeling about this. And my bad feelings about this sort of thing have a way of always being right.
At least we know there are people inside. And since we're servants, we could probably just jump over the wall if we have to. Of course, just 'cause we can doesn't mean we should. You there! What are you doing here?
Oh? A servant reading. Well, it seems luck is with you today, Master. Of course, we aren't yet sure whether this is good or bad luck. Whoever the servant is, they're headed your way at top speed. Be on your guard.
They just jumped clean over us and landed on top of the gate.
I can see your pantser when you stand up there.
It's a servant we've never met before.
Well, that's too bad. It would have made things a lot simpler if you already knew each other.
I hate getting chewed out by a stranger. It's like 100 times. It's like 100 times worse than when it's someone you know. What I'm trying to say is this lady looks really pissed off at us, so maybe do something about it.
That divine aura. Curses. Despite my best efforts, it looked like you finally found us.
You must be the ones who serve the false god, the Locopala.
No, I think you've got the wrong idea here. Whoa, slow down. Us the Locopala? You must be joking.
Don't lie to me. It can't be a coincidence that you've shown up now. Besides, I heard you planning to invade our village by jumping over these walls. I have no idea what you're talking about, but this is all just a misunderstanding. I only mentioned jumping the wall to rule it out as a bad idea. So you continue to lie to me. Very well, if you have finally learned of my existence and the existence of this village that seeks to end the false god's cycle, then so be it. I will run and hide no longer. If the time has come to fight, then I shall rise to the challenge. Prepare yourselves, Locopala. You will not be taking anything from me this day. Even if I must face a god, this time I will make sure to defend my home to the very end.
Yes, I'm aware. I'm well aware indeed. The foxwoman is up to something, isn't she? Then if I may, allow me to tell you something. Something of great importance. Oh, no. Of course, I would leave the decision of what to do with this information entirely in your capable hands. All I would humbly ask of you is your attention. That said, I must stress that depending on how things turn out, matters could grow very serious indeed. Why, what if my colleague, one of the foreign god's disciples ostensibly sent here to help you, were to become the very sort of thing you cast out of your world?
Please, listen to us. The Locopala are our enemy as well. We only came here in the hope of finding allies who could help us fight against them. Talk is cheap. I've lost track of how many times someone claiming to be my friend betrayed me.
Hey, look, she's back! And she's fighting to protect us! We're saved! Then those are Locopala! Damn it, they finally found our village!
Please, my lady, help us! The Locopala showed up right after we got back to the village. We've been barring the gate and holding out until you arrived. There, you see? I knew you couldn't be trusted.
And what did I tell you? Misunderstandings only invite further misunderstandings. I've seen this sort of thing before, back in the clock tower. No, all my life, really. I would look around one day and realize everyone had forsaken me, even though I didn't do anything wrong. Well, maybe that's not entirely accurate. There was this one time
Sorry, hun, but your life story is gonna have to wait, okay? The circumstances being what they are, she doesn't seem to be truly trying to kill us, but she's certainly very hard-headed. Her movements are as firm as her beliefs, it seems.
Hey, Rama, are you feeling this too?
I am. It's faint, but she definitely has the air of a divine spirit. Maybe she's a pseudo-servant like you. Good grief, I knew India had an expansive pantheon, but that can't be the answer for everything, can it? Fun fact, in Indian mythology, that is the answer for everything. One does not generally run into a divine spirit at every corner, so to speak. Forget that! How do you get her to listen to us? We'll never get anywhere if we don't clear up this misunderstanding. We can't... I mean, I've been trying to tell her over and over, but she won't listen. Oh!
Well, aren't you going to try to scale these walls? You'll need to do better than... Like, is that...
It looks like something caught her eye.
She seems to be looking at something far away. What's going on?
Well, this is certainly less than optimal. I know you're in the midst of a battle, but I strongly urge you to take note of your surroundings. Particularly what is behind you, immediately. Behind us? Oh. What? Sacred beasts?
Huh? Oh, wait, this pack looks kind of familiar. Are these the ones that passed us by earlier?
Those were going in a different direction, and I'm pretty sure they didn't notice us at all. Maybe there's something here that lured them this way.
A different group from the sacred beasts we encountered earlier. Of all the times for them to show up. No, this is no coincidence. It only makes sense that the Locopala would have the means to control them. They must be trying to make their way into our village and cleanse it, especially since one of our elderly died this morning. Begone, foul agents of the false god! You will not be claiming our dead today!
My, she does make for quite the striking figure, doesn't she?
She certainly does. She must be the manifestation of a noble heroic spirit, here to guide the people of this place along the right path.
What happened? Did something knock her off the wall?
No, It looked to me like she just sort of lost her footing. Now she's wriggling around where she fell. It looks like her feet are stuck in some kind of hole in the ground. Curses. I can't believe I fell right into one of the pitfalls we dug to prepare for the next Kali attack. Give me a moment. I'll be out of here in no time. Looks like they're pissed off about all the dramatic tension evaporating. Though I could just be projecting there. We can't let the sacred beast hurt her while she's incapacitated. Take them down and keep her safe, Master.
You know it. Let's get him, guys.
Fool!
All hostiles in our vicinity eliminated. Well done, everyone.
Well, now do you understand we aren't your enemy?
Yes, I do. I'm not so foolish as to insist otherwise at this point. I see now that I was gravely mistaken. No one would fight against the sacred beasts could possibly be allies of the false god. I am truly, sincerely sorry, and I thank you for your assistance. Please tell me why you have come here. No, on second thought, it's only right that I tell you about myself first. Yes, you have a point. Alright then, let me ask you this. Are you a divine spirit? Yes and no. I am a servant, but right now a goddess resides within my body, sharing her power with me. When I was first summoned to this land, she was already there inside me. There have been plenty of cases where a divine spirit would inhabit a person from the past to become a servant. And since heroic spirit servants are technically people from the past, I guess that makes sense a divine spirit could inhabit one of them too. Though I definitely haven't heard of many cases where it happened quite like this. I expect it's because this god and I happen to share the same name. I believe having words, sounds, and names match is very significant when it comes to magecraft. Then again, I was originally given this name in the hope of receiving her blessing, so perhaps it isn't much of a coincidence after all. You don't say. Well, okay, that makes sense.
So, which god are we talking about?
Lakshmi. And I am the Rani of Jhansi, a land which once existed in India who was named for her. My name is Lakshmi Bai.
Oh, fool! Lakshmi Bai?
I would like to think that anyone would be a bit embarrassed to recount the history of their own life. No matter how proud of that life they may be. So that's why Holmes has been so unusually quiet. Alright then, I guess I'll... Lakshmi Bai is a hero from 19th century India known for her role in the Indian Rebellion. Oh? Thanks for jumping in, Captain. Why don't you take it from here? Despite being born to royalty, she took up a sword and led a small rebel army in order to protect her nation of Jhansi. She was known far and wide for her leadership and charisma. At the time, revolts were breaking out all across India, under all manner of different circumstances. When one small state tried to revolt, the neighboring nations would often end up siding with the British, isolating the rebels and cutting them off from working with like-minded people in other regions. But the Jhansi rebels managed to hold out until the very end. And it was all thanks to their exceptional leader, Lakshmi Bai. I wouldn't call myself exceptional. I was just flailing around trying to hold everything together as best I could. Between Kunwar Singh, Tatya Tope, and many others I could name, there were no end of leaders more talented than me. All of that aside, you sound like you know a lot about our struggle. Are you Indian yourself? I'm nobody, just another nameless. It doesn't matter where I'm from. I'm done now. Over and out. While we're at it, we should probably go over your divine spirit Lakshmi. Though I'm sure Ganesha and Rama know a lot more about her than I do. In Indian mythology, Lakshmi is known as the goddess of fortune, prosperity, beauty, and the consort of Vishnu. Right. That's right. Then could it be? Uh-oh. I am an avatar of Vishnu, and Shita an avatar of Lakshmi. Shita, are you in there? I'm sure if you are, I'll be able to feel your presence. I'm guessing this is clear to all of you as well, given that her grip on my skull is strong enough the bones are starting to crack. But unfortunately, I sense no trace of Shita inside her. Who is this man advancing on a woman he's never met before as if to propose to her? Do you mind if I break him? I understand how you feel, but please go easy on him. Rama has his own complicated history. I see. I suppose I can't blame him for misunderstanding. I should have been more precise. The goddess Lakshmi exists within me more as a power source than anything else. I can barely even sense her consciousness at all. It's almost as though her heart has been implanted in me to provide me with energy. I doubt my output can measure up to that of an unadulterated divine spirit. So I'm afraid I'm not a manifestation of the goddess Lakshmi so much as my core is that of the human Rani, Lakshmi Bai, with small elements of the goddess. Then, Shita really doesn't exist inside you, as I suspected. Right, of course she doesn't. Now that I think about it, if she had, I would have sensed her well before you introduced yourself. But I wasn't even able to tell that the deity within you was Lakshmi. You must have only her divine power and nothing of her consciousness. Ganesha didn't realize who you were either. Of course, that might be because he was never very close to you, seeing as how you're just as up there in the pantheon as his mom, Parvati. Ganesha? Yes, now that you mention it, I do sense a divine presence inside you. One I would never in a million years have guessed by looking at you. Yeah, I know, but it's true. Believe me, I've spent pretty much this entire time wishing all this were just some weird joke. And I am Rama, the king of Kosala. Surely you've heard of me, as well as my beloved Shita. Oh, of course! There's not a soul in India who doesn't know your name. Forgive me, I thought you were just an, unusually youthful young man who hadn't yet learned how to behave around women. Maybe now's a good time to share our side. Good point. We have a bunch of things we need to tell you about. Who we are, how we got here, what we're trying to do. It's a long story, but I hope you'll bear with us. And I think that about sums it up.
Hold it. What about me? I thought you were saving the most important figure in our group for the end so as to make a lasting impression.
Yes, this is Gordolf Music, who I absolutely, positively, definitely did not forget to introduce. Nope. As you can probably tell from his sheer girth, his dignified stature, he's our commander-in-chief.
Indeed I am. A stout build is the mark of a true elite, after all. As the commanding officer here, I expect you to treat me with all due respect.
I have one question for you. Are you British?
No, I'm not.
And what about you? Me? Oh, that would be telling, hon. You've got to get to know me better first. I suppose I can at least tell you that no, I'm not British either, though I did spend a good bit of time at the clock tower. Hoo boy, well there's one last person in our group I should introduce you to. Sorry, Holmes, the jig is up. You can't keep hiding forever.
I assure you I was doing no such thing. I was only waiting for a more opportune moment once things had settled down. Good day, Ms. Lakshmi Bai. Sherlock Holmes, detective, at your service.
Are you British?
Yes, I am.
Is that a problem? The Indian Rebellion was... well, it was a war for India's independence against its colonizers, the British. And since Lakshmi Bai lost her life in that conflict, I imagine she has some strong feelings about it. Though I do get the impression there's someone else here with some connection to that. Oh well, I guess it's not my place to say anything here.
I was only a few years old when that war broke out, so while I can't personally apologize for my country's actions...
No, it's all right. I'm sorry, that was rude of me. There is little sense in my asking that. It's just an old habit, one I can't seem to shake.
You have nothing to apologize for. It's not for me to say whether you should or shouldn't feel that way. Nor is it for me to say whether you should hold on to those feelings or try to forget them. All I can say for sure is that our country's histories are intertwined. Certainly neither of us can pretend otherwise. If this hadn't come up now, Gouda would no doubt have noticed the air of discomfort between us, and gone on to learn what happened between our countries for himself. If there is any meaning to be found by having people from the past come together like this, besides the role we play as servants, of course, I suspect it lies there.
Agreed. I will think of you as no more than a man by the name of Sherlock Holmes. Besides, under these circumstances, the more allies we have, the better. Then, does that mean you consider us allies? It was difficult to convince the people of Duval of the wrongness of this situation. But once I did, they agreed to work together to forge their own destiny. Their village here is now the base for all such like-minded people. As you are warriors fighting against God, just like us, I would be honored if you fought at our side.
It's a deal! Now we're a true JRPG. Fo!
I guess the counterforce must have summoned you too. Have you been here long? Yes, I'd say it's been at least 10 days since I arrived.
Then you must have been caught in the world's recreation a number of times. How did you survive?
God or not, remaking this entire Lostbelt is a major undertaking. Arjuna wouldn't change how he goes about it just because a servant's been added to the mix. So long as he doesn't think of you as unnecessary or defective, I expect he would just bring you back along with all the other people. It just galls me thinking how our very survival in this Lostbelt is completely dependent on his absurdly arbitrary standards. It's natural for gods to be somewhat self-centered given their immense power, but Arjuna definitely takes it too far. Oh, and speaking of which, you should know he's already got his eye on us. So if you join us, you're sure to wind up with the whole evil label, and you won't be able to survive the world being remade anymore. That's fine. It could only have been a matter of time before he took notice of me anyway. Besides, you have a way to evade the destruction, yes? So if it comes to that, I'll be counting on your help. You mean the border? Yes, of course. You'd be welcome to join us in there. Wouldn't she?
The border is the last bastion of hope for all of humanity. We can't just go letting any old servant we meet on it. Under ordinary circumstances, anyway. But in this case, I suppose we do have a fair handle on her true name and background. And it would be a shame to lose a valuable ally so soon after finding one. Very well, I will authorize your entry into the border in case of emergency.
You have my gratitude.
Of course. Ideally, I hope to be quite finished with this place long before he even uses that preposterous noble phantasm of his again.
You said it, honey. Fortunately, he only ever does that at the end of the Kali Yuga. So it would be just peachy if we could put a stop to all this before then.
So now that we've got a new ally and all, what's our next step?
I've already got something in mind for that. There are risks involved, naturally, but the reward should be significant. Now that we're in the middle of the first, relatively peaceful Yuga, and especially now that we have more allies, this would seem to be the perfect time to investigate one thing in particular.
What's that? Remember that thing we've been wondering about ever since we came to this Lostbelt?
The cube.
It's the biggest, most mysterious thing here by far, and it's gotta contain some useful information. Now we want you guys to finally go and investigate it. God Sky Boulder!
The cube.
Section 9. The Cube, God Skyboulder. Dawn of the third day.
So, you don't know what God Sky Boulder is either then, Lakshmi? No, I don't. It was there when I was first summoned here, and it hasn't changed at all in the time since. At least I don't think it has. I haven't been watching it this whole time, so I can't say for certain.
Well, I have been watching it this whole time, so I can. It definitely never changed. Since we haven't actually asked, you don't know what it is either, correct? That's right. I just noticed there was a big weird cube in this Lostbelt and didn't think anything more of it. I mean, sure, I considered investigating it and getting rid of it in case it turned out to be something dangerous, since it is so bizarre and all. But I hadn't the slightest idea how to go about it, so I decided to just keep an eye on the thing. Not to mention, David told me it was better off leaving it alone. Don't dismiss something before you've seen its true nature, huh? True, if I did, I'd be no better than Arjuna.
It was the same with me. I didn't know what it was, so I couldn't do anything about it. I could see the giant tree and the cube no matter where I went, but I had more pressing matters to attend to. Rather than bother with something I knew nothing about, I figured my time would be better spent helping the people here who had been led astray by this unjust god.
That is very admirable of you. But are you sure it's okay to leave the village unattended?
They should be fine during the early Yugas, especially while there are barely any Kali around. They have weapons now, even if they were hastily assembled, and I've taught them how to fight it as best I can. They should be able to handle themselves in a pinch. The only thing I'm worried about right now are the sacred... There. It's another pack of sacred beasts, Master. Let's hide and wait for them to pass again. It's not just sacred beasts. There's something else there, next to the road. Wait, is that a person?
I'm not picking up any vital signs. I'm afraid it's a dead body. Perhaps they died of disease or in an accident.
Why are you going over to it? Damn, we're too late.
The body's disappearing.
So you didn't know then? That's one of this world's mistakes. The sacred beasts purify the bodies of anyone who happens to die unexpectedly. My guess is the false god thinks dead bodies don't belong out in the world and wants them gone as soon as possible.
I see. So if this world were a single entity, the sacred beasts are the white blood cells of its immune system. Since we can assume this world's god would be the head, the sacred beasts must be its macrophages, created to detect, isolate, and remove any foreign element. So then, does that mean the Kali they fight are something like a virus? Most intriguing.
Whatever the case, people are people. When they die, they shouldn't just be cleaned up like trash. Their karma should determine what they become in their next life. At least that's what my people believe. And that's what a true samsara cycle is meant to be. We cremate dead bodies to free their souls and ensure they go on to the next life without issue. But here, as long as the sacred beasts are around, nobody will be able to hold a proper cremation. If this world has no respect for the journey of the dead, and no hope for those who are left behind, then it's nothing but a world of death. So that's why you were concerned about the sacred beast showing up in Duval. Because one of your elderly had passed away. Right. He was an old man whose time had come. There's nothing anyone could do about that. But I didn't want the false gods stealing our right to give him a proper farewell. You really helped us out there. They're finally leaving.
If they haven't already spotted you, then I would urge you to hold back for now. You're almost a god Skyboulder, and I would very much prefer to avoid making a commotion wherever possible.
I know. I would have stopped them if I had found the body first. But as things stand now, my only choice is to let them go. We should be okay now. I'm certain the sacred beast can't detect us from this far away. Good. I'm glad I didn't have to sneeze while we were hiding. Let's go. Wow, I knew she was cool and collected, but I didn't know she also had such a charming sense of humor.
My, seeing it this close up really makes you realize just how big it actually is, doesn't it? Ooh, I've got an idea. Why don't we take a little group photo to commemorate the occasion? Pepe, behind you, behind you!
Was that a joke, or were you trying to avoid facing the reality of our situation? Either way, it wasn't funny. If you want to pick, go ahead and take all the selfies you want. Just don't come running to me if the whole thing turns into a jump scare.
Fo! Aw, you guys are no fun. I was just trying to lighten the mood a little.
So, these numbers we're seeing are accurate, right? Our sensors aren't on the fritz or anything, right? That's right. We made it to the area near the cube without a problem, but... Where did all these Kali come from? I thought there were barely supposed to be any during the Kurta Yuga. I think it's the place, not the time. They're showing up as though they've just been here all along, rather than coming from somewhere else. Be that as it may, the sheer number of them is almost absurd. There are as many here as there were during the Kali Yuga, maybe even more. Hey, I've got an idea. Why don't we just run away? Seriously. You have a point. We can't investigate the cube with all these Kali around. Annoying since we just got here. If they surround us, we'll have nowhere to go.
True, we can only take so many risks when it comes to safety, but there's certainly nothing to be gained by attempting to complete an impossible goal. I guess we don't have any choice. We're getting out of here, now.
Understood. We'll break through the Kali behind us and make a run for it. Awaiting your orders, Master. Okay, I think that's enough distance between us and them.
I never imagined there would be that many Kali gathered there. I expect it might be dangerous, but with numbers like that, adding one more to our ranks still won't be enough to fend them off.
You don't have to rub it in. I wish my noble phantasm were capable of blasting them all away at once, too.
My apologies, I assure you I was not speaking sarcastically. I was merely reflecting on my failure to foresee a situation like this.
I see. That's alright. No. I'm sorry, I was being oversensitive. While we're on the subject, this seems a good chance to tell you this. Naturally, I will do everything in my power to accomplish our mutual goal. I have no intention of holding back. But I should warn you, for your own safety, you should not expect me to come through when it really counts. I've never truly been able to accomplish the things I most wish to do. That is just my lot in life.
Well, that's a strange opinion to have of oneself. Perhaps her failure to defend her country and life had a traumatic effect on her. Be that as it may, there's no doubt whatsoever that you are far more useful in combat than a detective in a remote location. So I hope you will continue to lend Mr. Gouda your aid.
Of course I will. I would be pleased if you trusted me on that much. At any rate, there really were a ridiculous amount of Kali over there. Lends the impression that it may be even more important to this Lostbelt than we thought. Indeed. It was as though those Kali were there solely to guard the sky boulder. The fact that we can no longer see them after putting just a little distance between us and the sky boulder would only seem to confirm that. I wonder what this could mean. For that matter, we still don't know what those Kali demons actually are. I'm guessing Holmes is probably right in that they're like a virus infecting this world, in opposition of the sacred beasts. But still, we have not the slightest idea what they are, where they come from, or where they go.
I don't know either, but I can say they're not any ordinary kind of creature. Given that they stick around even after this world is remade, maybe Arjuna uses them as a means to determine who is worth preserving. Or maybe they just remain here out of necessity. If it's the latter, that would mean they're a crucial part of the stage Arjuna uses to run this world. So if we defeat him, maybe they'll all just go poof. I guess this just means we're gonna have to figure out what to do about Arjuna. At least we now know that God's Sky Boulder is protected by vast numbers of Kali and can't be approached lightly. It may not be much, but it is more than we knew before. In the meantime, I suggest we return to Duval and plot our next course of action.